The viral files. The world changed at 3:14 a.m. A data dump of unprecedented scale, dubbed the Solstice Ledger, flooded the dark web before cascading onto every social media platform. Millions of court documents, private emails, and flight logs linked the world's most powerful figures to a private sanctuary known only as Ethelgard. Alara, a data analyst for a mid-sized security firm, sat in the glow of her 3 monitors, watching the hashtags explode. The names were seismic: prime ministers, tech titans, and the very actors who graced her favorite films. The internet was a digital wildfire, and the hunt for heads had begun. By morning, the mob had formed. Digital vigilantes were already naming and shaming anyone found in the ledger. But as Alara parsed the raw metadata, something felt wrong. She noticed subtle anomalies, cryptographic signatures that didn't align with the alleged timestamps. Some files were pristine, but others had been modified just 48 hours before the leak. She zoomed in on a specific flight manifest. The name of a disgraced senator was there, but the digital fingerprint of the text showed a slight blur, a telltale sign of a hurried injection. It wasn't just a leak, it was a curated hit list. Alara received an encrypted message from an anonymous handle, The Ghost. It directed her to a derelict subway station at midnight. There, she met Jude, a former investigative journalist who had been living off the grid for years. Jude looked weary, his eyes darting toward the shadows of the tunnel. He told her that the Solstice Ledger was a double-blind operation. They gave the public 90% of the truth to make the 10% of lies indistinguishable, he whispered. They're using the people's anger to erase their enemies. Jude handed Alara a physical drive, a dead man's switch containing the original, unedited files. He explained that the real scandal wasn't what happened on the island, but what was happening right now, a mass manipulation of public perception to justify a global reset of privacy laws. Look at the encrypted headers on page 402, Jude urged. Alara opened her laptop right there on the platform, the screen flickering. The headers revealed a hidden routing code belonging to a private intelligence firm. Above ground, the chaos had turned physical. On every screen, an influencer named Rion was live-streaming to millions, pointing at the leaked documents and calling for the Great Accounting. Rion's face was flush with the power of 1 million likes as he demanded the immediate arrest of the people named in the manipulated files. He wasn't interested in the metadata or the anomalies. He was interested in the narrative. The digital mob was no longer seeking justice. They were seeking blood, fueled by the very lies Alara was beginning to untangle. Alara tracked the intelligence firm to a man named Silas, a billionaire who had remained strangely absent from the leaked documents. Silas was the architect of the Solstice Ledger. From his penthouse overlooking the city, he watched the fires burn on the news. He hadn't just leaked the documents to hide his own tracks. He had leaked them to create a world where truth was determined by whoever shouted the loudest. By sacrificing his peers, he was buying himself total, invisible control over the new digital infrastructure. Alara tried to upload the evidence of the manipulation, but the servers were lagging. Suddenly, she was intercepted in the hallway of the courthouse, where she had gone to seek an old contact. Silas was there, waiting for her. He didn't look like a villain. He looked like a statesman. You're trying to save a world that's already decided what it wants to believe, Alara, he said smoothly. He stepped closer, his shadow stretching across the marble floor. If you release those files, you'll just be another conspiracy theorist, drowned out by the noise. Silas offered her a choice: join his team and help curate the future, or release the files and watch as the mob turned on her for defending the monsters. He showed her a mock-up of a news report already prepared, a fake story claiming Alara was a paid operative for the very billionaire she was trying to expose. The trap was perfect. The truth was a liability, and the lie was a sanctuary. Alara felt the weight of the drive in her pocket, a small piece of metal against the tide of a world gone mad. Alara fled the courthouse and found Jude's apartment tossed, the windows shattered. Jude was gone, leaving only a single note pinned to the wall. The signal is the noise. She realized then that Silas didn't care if the truth came out eventually. He only cared about the chaos in the meantime. While the world fought over the files, he was quietly acquiring the world's largest data hosting companies. By the time the public realized they had been played, Silas would own the very platforms they used to protest. Alara sat in a crowded cafe, the flash drive plugged into her laptop. Her finger hovered over the upload key. Around her, people were glued to their phones, arguing, shouting, and refreshing their feeds for the next name to fall. If she clicked, she might start a new fire. Or she might just be a whisper in a hurricane. She looked at the screen, then at the faces of the people around her, angry, distracted, and hungry for a simple truth that didn't exist. She closed her eyes and pressed the key. Whether the world would listen, or if the files would simply become another ghost in the machine, was no longer up to her.